Hello everyone. Today I am going to cover Bhagavad Gita revision, a very short revision with only 3 topics: definitions of yoga, concept of Sthita Prajna, and concept and classification of Ahara. Hope you all enjoy it. So let's start. Definition of yoga in Bhagavad Gita. Two definitions, real definitions are given in chapter 2, 48 and 50 shlok. So it is योगस्थः कुरु कर्माणि संगं त्यक्त्वा धनञ्जय सिद्ध्य सिद्धयोः समो भूत्वा समत्वं योग उच्यते. Means mind fixed on duty and all thoughts about the fruits of your action abandoned. Such equanimity of mind is the essence of yoga. Yoga is equanimity of the mind. A person is as yogic as he is able to maintain an equanimous state of mind through different situations in life, whether they are of pleasure and pain, convenient or inconvenient. The second one is Buddhi yukto jahatiha ube sukruta dushkrute tasmat yogaya yujyasva yogah karmasu kaushalam. Yoga is the skill or dexterity in performing an action. The skill here refers to the capacity to perform an action without generating sanskaras. This can happen when we perform nishkama karma or when we surrender ourselves completely at some altar. So, devote yourself to yoga, the essence of work. Acting this way, one gets rid of good and bad karma that affects him if he attach himself to the fruits of his actions. And relevance has been given in this as what is the relevance of yoga, benefits of yoga. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nishat Trigunayo Bhava Arjuna. Traigunya Vishaya Veda Nistraigunyo Bhavajuna Nirdvandvo Nitya Sattvasto Niryoga Kshema Atmavan. Means the 3 gunas are the main components within the circumference of which the Vedas analyze a life. Arjuna, you should transcend these gunas. These are the words said by Lord Krishna to Arjuna, that fix your mind on truth and be free from concerns of the material world. Concentrate on the self alone. The next one is concept of Sthita Prajna and its stages. So, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manohagatan atmaneva atmana tushtah sthita prajnastada uchyate. Lord of Shri said, Parth, one who is renounced all desires born of the mind, is satisfied in the self and by the self, is said to be one who inside is steady. So, this is the definition of Sthita Prajna. Now, what are the characteristics of this Sthita Prajna? Dukkheshva anudvigna manaha sukeshu vigataspruvaha vitaraga bhayakrodha sthiti dhir munir uchyate. So, sthiti dhi, this is the other word for Sthita Prajna Purush. In the midst of suffering and happiness, his mind is neither confused nor kindled. He who is free from desire, passions, fear and anger is said to be sage of tranquil mind, that is Sthita Prajna Purush. And the other characteristics are Yah sarvatrana bhi sneha stat prapya shubha ashubham na abhinandanti na dveshti tasya prajna pratishtitha. One who is free from all material desires, who is neither be delighted nor disturbed by joys and sorrows, is the one who stands firm in wisdom. यदा संहरते च अयं कुर्मो अङ्गानीव सर्वशः इन्द्रियाणि इन्द्रियार्थे अभ्यस्तस्य प्रज्ञा प्रतिष्ठिता. This means, oh, my pop-ups. And when he completely controls his senses and keep them away from their objects, like a tortoise drawing a slim within a shell is wisdom stands steady. That is withdrawing ourselves from the objects. And the other characteristics given are, it is not enough if one merely turns away from sense objects, as the taste for such objects still remain. So, one should totally be devoid of even the taste for such objects. One who sees God transcends the taste acquired for sense object. He remains fixed. In order to attain steady wisdom, you should restrain your senses and focus your entire mind and being on me, that is on the Lord Krishna. So, the next according to our syllabus, I have taken 1.1.7, okay, concept and classification of ahara and its role in Adhyatma sadhana as described in Bhagavad Gita. So, it is in the chapter number 17, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th shloks. Aharastvapi sarvasya त्रिविधो भवति प्रियः यज्ञस्तपास्तथा दानं तेषां भेदं मिनं शृणु. Even the food that a person prefers falls under three modes of nature, as does sacrifice, austerities and charity. Now, what are the classifications of this? So, sattvic food, let us, the three types of foods are sattvic, rajasic and tamasic food. So, let us learn the characteristic of these or qualities of these foods. Sattvic food, ayuhu sattva balarogya sukha priti vivadhanah rasyaha snigdaha stira rudya aharaha satvika priyaha. Means food that are influenced by mode of goodness increases the lifespan, cleanses one's existence once it is, and gives strength, health, happiness and satisfaction. These foods are juicy, fatty, wholesome and pleasurable to those who are sattvic. Then comes the rajasic food. कट्वम्ल लवन अति उष्ण तीक्ष्ण रुक्ष विदाहिनः आहारः राजसश्चेष्टा दुःख शोक आमय प्रदाः. That means foods that are extremely bitter, sour, salty, hot, pungent, dry and burning are consumed by those in the mode of passion. Such foods cause grief, distress and disease. Let us have a look on tamasic food. Yatayamam gatarasam puti paryushitam chayat utshishtam api cha medhyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. Food that is stale, tasteless, putrid, rotten and food that consists of remnants and are unfit for pious service is dear to those in whom mode of darkness dominates. Means those who are rajasic people, they love this type of food. Sorry for the pronunciation, some mistakes, just apologize me. Okay. Now in Bhagavad Gita, concept of moderate ahara has been explained as yukta ahara viharasya yukta cheshtasya karmasu yukta swapnavabodhasya yogo bhavati dukkha. Means he who is moderate in his habit of eating, sleeping, working and recreation can mitigate all material pains by practicing the yoga. Yukta ahar vihar refers to one whose eating habits and movements are regulated. The proper yoga diet may be considered as a lacto-vegetarian diet, one consisting of grain, pulses, fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds and dairy products, as well as being simple, natural and wholesome foods. This diet takes into account the subtle effect of food that has on mind and prana. Spiritual and psychological reasons for a vegetarian diet. It is said that non-vegetarian food necessarily involves hinsa in the form of killing of life forms. It is said that when meat is eaten, the hormones that cause fear and panic in the animal at the time of slaughter gets transferred into a body. Hence, non-vegetarian food results in impediments on the progress of the spiritual path. Sattvic food is that food which increases one's lifespan, purity, strength, health, joy and cheerfulness. Hence, the food which is sattvic, balanced and sampurna, that is called as a yogic sattvic food. To keep oneself healthy physically as well as mentally, it is essential to take sattvic and complete food. Then comes the Rajasic food. Any food which is stimulating and going towards the activity is considered as Rajasic food, and mostly they are the spicy foods. So, and these food or spicy foods, all these are logistic in the nature, whichever are the spicy rich food. Then comes the Tamasic food. Meat, poultry, fish, eggs, alcohol and other intoxicants including drugs make one lethargic and lazy, and as and are regarded as tamasic, so are overprocessed, still difficult to digest. Even food cooked without awareness, in anger and in the negative mood fall under this category. For energy and gets withdrawn and reasoning powers becomes clouded, and one experiences a sense of inertia and loss of resistance in one part. And one is filled with negative emotions such as anger, jealousy and greed. Non-vegetarian food and Rajasic and Tamasic food may cause disease like obesity, cancer, blood pressure, diabetes, autoimmune disease, and also they lead to mental tension, strain, disturbances, stress, etc. So finally, take home message we can say that vegetarian food may lead to happy and peaceful life. Thank you very much. We will do further revisions in next classes. Thank you.